Hi, today I am going to explain a psychological thriller movie called Fatal Affair. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and enjoy. In a beautiful home, there were two people passionately making out. When the woman gets up to get a drink of water, the man is gone by the time she returns to where she was sitting. She searches for him and eventually finds him lying bloody in the bathroom tub. Someone seizes hold of her by the hand as she screams in pain. Ellie Warren is a highly successful attorney who currently resides on the breathtaking coastline of California with her husband Marcus, who is recuperating from injuries sustained in a terrible car accident. They recently moved into a new home on the coast near San Francisco, which they purchased after their daughter Brittany left for college. Even though Ellie wants to leave after the case is resolved and start her own practice, Janice, Ellie's supervisor at work, wants her to stay on after the case is finished. Ellie is taken aback because she knew David Hammond, the new tech consultant for the company, back when they were both students at the same university. The company is doing work for a client who claims that their patents were stolen by another party. Janice has requested that David search for emails that provide evidence that the patents were unlawfully obtained. David won't have any trouble carrying this out. David extends an invitation to Ellie to get drinks with him so that the two of them can catch up. Ellie already has plans to get drinks with her friend Courtney, so she extends the invitation to David to join them. Since Courtney is unable to leave her job, Ellie decides to hang out with David without her. She claims that there are times when she has the sensation that she is sleeping with an outsider when she is with Marcus. They get together and go to a club, where they discuss the reasons why they didn't date while they were in college. David claims that he was aware of Ellie's employment at the company before he began his own employment there. Ellie breaks for the restroom after they dance and get a little too intimate with one another. When David finally locates her, he and Ellie begin to kiss, but Ellie quickly pulls away and says that she can't. Even though David is constantly calling her, she decides to move back in with Marcus and puts a lot of effort into making their relationship stronger. In addition to that, she will now have a location from which to operate her new company. David makes an appointment with his therapist, who informs him that he is doing well and that he is seeing someone else. David is relieved to hear this news. It turns out that he had his first date while he was in anger management classes because of a fight he had with a woman named Deborah. This argument led to him enrolling in the classes. David approaches Ellie outside of her place of employment and tells her that he was at a nearby meeting. He is curious as to the reason why she is not picking up when he calls her. He requests that Ellie accompany him to get coffee, but she declines, explaining that she cannot because she is married. And then she leaves. Ellie is annoyed that David continues to call and text her at home, so she blocked his number. David peers inside the room through the window and spots the couple kissing passionately. Courtney is invited to dinner by Ellie and Marcus, and Ellie is taken aback when Courtney tells her that David will be joining them. Ellie goes along with David's pretense that he is unaware of her existence while he is with Courtney because David acts as though he does not know Ellie. When Ellie is by herself, she calls David and has a heart-to-heart talk with him, telling him that she does not want him anywhere near her or her family ever again. She instructs him to think of a reason to leave, so he does as she says and leaves. Ellie eventually discovers a package from Marcus left on her deck. She calls Courtney, but she is unable to get through to her. After that, she goes to see David in order to have a conversation with him. She is concerned about herself, her friends, and her family, and wants to know what it will take to get him to stop bothering them. When he realizes who she is, he starts to call her Deborah. She hands him the record that he had placed in the package for her, and he splits it in two with his bare hands. When Ellie tries to tell Courtney the truth, Courtney says that David told her that Ellie tried to seduce him, but he rejected her advances. This causes Ellie to become confused and angry. She shows her texts that seem to come from Ellie saying that, but Ellie informs her that David is a hacker. Ellie shows her texts that appear to come from Ellie. Courtney is so convinced that she is wrong about Ellie that she storms out of the room. Ellie visits an old college friend, who reveals to her that David was head over heels for her when they were both students there. She also claims that David's ex-wife Deborah looked exactly like Ellie, and that Deborah and her new boyfriend were murdered a few months after the divorce. Ellie is terrified. David enters Ellie's house secretly in the middle of the night while she is sleeping and searches through her belongings. When Brittany arrives home from school, he comes dangerously close to colliding with her, but she is able to sidestep him by the skin of her teeth. Ellie persists in her efforts to get in touch with Courtney, but the latter never responds to her messages. After some time has passed, David sends her a video message that shows them dancing at the club together. She is unaware that he has also compromised her home security by breaking into her alarm system. She discusses Deborah's death and the manner in which David most likely carried it out in an email that she sends to Courtney. David eliminates the email from his inbox. Ellie begins to stalk David, and it comes as a complete surprise to her when she catches him playing golf with Marcus. She convinces the building's concierge to let her into David's apartment, where she discovers photographs of herself and Deborah taken at a distance on David's computer. David returns to the house while she is still there, but he leaves before she can greet him. Ellie gives Courtney a call and discusses the pictures as well as how dangerous David is to be around. After that, David travels to Courtney's residence. Courtney sneaks a peek at David's phone and discovers some photos of Ellie on it, but David catches her in the act and assaults her. Ellie rushes to Courtney's house, where she discovers that her friend is unresponsive and bleeding from the head. Ellie receives word from the authorities that they are searching for David while Courtney is taken to the hospital. When Ellie and Marcus get back to their house, Marcus gets the full story from Ellie. He is displeased and incensed. In the meantime, David tracked down a homeless man, set fire to him while he was holding a note, and made it appear as though the man had committed suicide. The authorities claimed that they discovered all of the evidence related to his former wife's murder in his home, including a confession from him. Marcus and Ellie sit down, discuss what's been bothering them, and come to the conclusion that they need to start over. Things are getting back to being joyful and typical again. Ellie discovers the dead body of her assistant when she goes to her office to sign some papers. David gives her a call and informs her, "You left them to fend for themselves." Ellie makes a hasty retreat to her house and, on the way, calls the authorities. It has been reported that Brittany's boyfriend, Scott, has passed away. However, neither Marcus nor Brittany can be located. David makes an appearance and informs Ellie that they are able to begin again together. David is injured by Ellie, who first stabs him with a knife and then breaks a vase over his head. She allows the police to leave after they arrive, but when they rush to the patrol car, they discover that the officer has already been killed. During their fight, Marcus knocked off of balconies by David. After Ellie has given David a chest wound with a knife, she assists Marcus in standing up. Marcus and Ellie make a break for it toward the beach, and David makes his way back to the police car to retrieve the firearm from the fallen officer. David approaches them while he is still armed with the gun, and a fight breaks out at the precipice's edge. Ellie reaches out and grabs David as he is falling off the cliff, but despite her best efforts, David slips and falls to his death on the beach below. After 2 months have passed, Marcus and Ellie are both content and unharmed. They are selling the house and sending Brittany back to school at the same time. Thanks for watching. For more videos like this, please subscribe, like, and share this video, and leave a comment with the name of any film you'd like us to review.